should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better,
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I see there's new people in here. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm starting a little later than usual because I was up till 1 o'clock this morning trying to get that interview with the ex-girlfriend out. And we are going to start with that because that one comes before the interview with Chris Stearns, Stephen Stearns' dad. That was in a July interview. Let me get this pulled up so you guys can see it. Thank you again, everybody, for being here, watching, or if you're catching a replay. Hold on. I don't know if you heard that. I see a lot of new faces in here commenting. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I am going to go ahead and drop the link if anybody wants to come up. You don't have to, but I like to offer if anybody feels they want to let your voice be heard and get your thoughts and opinions out here. And with that, we will get this pulled up and go ahead and start. And I will give you my thoughts and opinions on this situation, this interview. Also, this is obviously the interviews are not speculation, but my thoughts and opinions are, and anything said in the chat are thoughts and opinions. I'm going to put my banner up, so please keep that in mind. Thank you again for being here, and let's get started. This video took me so long to do. This is an interview with one of Stephen Stearns' Disney ex-girlfriends. I have put the transcript in because it's hard to hear. I wrote this transcript by hand, so please have patience. If you see parentheses like this, that means that's what I think they said. If you hear something else, please leave it in the comments below.
Hello. I'm Detective Small with the Kissimmee Police Department.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on
You
mute.
Yeah,
Sorry if you heard me closing my door. This interview is loud. Somebody said that my interviews were too low. My videos, excuse me. I was trying to lower the volume, but evidently it was making it where people couldn't hear. So I just want to give you a warning. I tried to turn it up so that everybody could hear just because she's so hard to hear. But we have to keep in mind that the recording device is being worn by the officer. So when he talks, it's going to be like extremely loud. So I just want to give you that notice.
Dog's barking. Oh, well, whatever's easiest for you. What do you prefer?
It's going to be a little barking. She won't never stop.
We can hang out here then.
Okay.
What is your name?
Mariloli Alejandro.
Can you spell it for me?
M-A-R-E-L-Y.
M-A-R-I.
E-L-Y. You?
M-A-R-I.
I-E-L-Y. Alejandro.
Okay. Obviously, you know why we're here?
Yes.
Okay. Before we start, I'm just going to swear you in. Do you mind raising your right hand for me? Do you swear and affirm that the statement you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge to help you God?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, from my understanding, you contacted the sheriff's office today. Okay. Kind of explain to us what your thought process was and why you contacted them.
So,
I did not put the transcript on this part just because we can hear what they say. When it starts getting hard to hear, you'll see the transcripts pop up. Thank you, JR, for wishing me a nice birthday. I actually did have a nice birthday. I hit 500 subscribers that night. Not that, it matters, but it's nice to know that people are seeing me and hearing this information. That was really awesome. I never thought that one person would want to hear what I have to say. And then Jenny was here from the beginning, every day. And then all of you came, and I can't express how thankful I am for that. It's up at 700 now. So hopefully, I'm trying to figure out if I can get do memberships and things and what that would entail. I'm not trying to make a bunch of money off this channel, so it's not going to be like expensive. I don't drop cash apps, things like that. That's not something I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I'm working on trying to figure that out, what kind of special things we can do and all that. Thank you so much for the belated birthday wishes too. I appreciate that. That's really sweet.
So when Maddie disappeared, that morning I went on Facebook like always, and one of my friends that have no relation to Disney posted it, and I looked at it, and then I realized that the picture of the person, which was the mom, I knew her, so I opened it, and that's when I called my friend. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is. At this point, I did not know this guy was still in their life, because when he and I were involved, he told me he broke up with her. So I'm thinking, I watched the news and everything, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that girl got into some other relationship, and that boyfriend, that's why I didn't call you guys that day. Then this morning, I was in the parking lot at work, waiting, and that's when someone told me, hey, they're arrested. So that's when I figured that was her boyfriend still. And that's when I felt really bad, because I met him in 2022. By the end of 2022, we worked together at Disney, and there was like a little group of people that would meet up. We met up a few times to play board games, and consequently with that, he and I started seeing each other, more like hanging out here, playing board games, and then it progressed. But it progressed once he told me that he was no longer in a relationship. He told me that she opened the relationship so she can date someone else, Jen.
Okay.
And then it went downhill from there.
Sorry, I was muted. I really want to know if that's the truth, like if what Stefan told this lady was the truth. I really wonder if she caught on to what was going on between Maddie and Stefan, and that's why the relationship ended. I really think that played a part. I really think that she knew. I mean, there's so much evidence pointing to the fact that she knew, in my opinion.
And then they ended up breaking up. Then he and I started, seeing each other. Come in, let's see if the dog doesn't bark. Cool. Oh, she's putting the dog here. So that's when I realized that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna do it. No, you're gonna have it. That's when I realized that. We started dating. I forgot where I was at. We started seeing each other. We were not officially dating because I don't date people from work. Never. That was my first time. So I told him not to tell anybody because it wasn't anything concrete. We started hanging out here. I never met Jen. I never met Maddie in person. But Jen knew that we were.
I just picked up on that one. I'll back it up where I had question marks. Hold on, I'll tell you. I picked up on that one. I'll tell you what it said.
Officially dating because I don't date people from work. Never. That was my first time. So I told him not to tell anybody because it wasn't anything concrete.
Because it wasn't anything concrete. I wish I'd have picked up on that earlier. I was wearing headphones and had certain parts of it turned up to 150 just trying to hear it, but I couldn't catch that concrete the first time. So she said it wasn't anything concrete.
Here, I never met Jen. I never met Maddie in person. But Jen knew that we were friends. We started being intimate. That's we were just a few times, and then he would randomly make these weird comments out of the blue. Like he would say he vented about the ex-girlfriend.
Jennifer?
Yeah, he vented about her all the time. I never paid much attention, but he made this comment once that because I asked him if he wanted to spend the night, And he said, no, because if I don't get to the house, they won't go to sleep. And I was like, what do you mean? They won't? No, they don't sleep if I'm not there. So I'm
This is important.
like, we talk about it a little, and I'm like, but you're not with her anymore. And he goes, no, Maddie won't sleep. She sleeps with me and the mom in the bedroom. And I was like, but how old is she? Because I thought she was 12. And
So that's telling me, because he states that she sleeps with me. So that tells me that this has been happening on a regular basis. Because, I mean, I got to get home. I can't spend the night with you, who I'm supposed to be talking to and obviously have been intimate with. Oh, I can't spend the night here because I got to go home because she won't go to sleep because she sleeps with me. That tells me right there that it was a regular thing, not a once in a while type of thing, like Jen stated.
and that's when he said, yeah, but he said something about her being autistic, but not being like.
She's high functioning?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm like, but she's still 11. You're not the dad, You shouldn't. I try because I have a bachelor's. I'm a teacher. I don't teach, and I try to, hey, not appropriate. And then he goes, no, she doesn't sleep if she's not cuddling with me.
Excuse me, what? What? If somebody says that, I mean, take into account the situation. You're staying with your ex-girlfriend and you're with her daughter, and you're stating that the daughter will not go to sleep unless she's in the bed with you because she sleeps with this man that you're seeing every night. This is your boyfriend, and he tells you, oh, I live with my ex-girlfriend because I'm like a father figure to her daughter. Okay, that's already weird, but sometimes it's like, okay, well, okay, but hopefully you can move out and continue to be a father figure to this child. I understand if you're in her life for a long time, but no, that's not it. We're living with the ex-girlfriend. The daughter doesn't go to sleep if she's not in the bed with you. If you're not there, she's not going to go to sleep, supposedly, and she's not going to sleep if she's not cuddling with this man. That right there is enough for me to be like, no, this ain't gonna work. I'm probably gonna be making some phone calls. And she states later why she didn't, but it's still concerning. Like this made me sick. That's why I put those faces, because why are you cuddling with an 11-year-old? We know about men. When men are grown, even young boys, there's a thing that happens in the morning, okay? And you're telling me that you, being a grown man, and this thing that happens in the morning, you're laying in the bed with an 11-year-old cuddling while this thing that happens every morning to most men's happen. Like, no, there's so much here that I'm not okay with. It's not okay.
And I was like, well, that's not. And then I asked him, hey, when she moves to the bed, then you can move to her bed and just live in her room. Like, we went over this. It's not something that I just disregarded, whatever. He had a way to play with words that I thought he was just dumb. I didn't think he was like a bad guy, like doing something to her, Another occasion, he said that he was upset because sometimes he'd go and take a shower, and then Jen would be in the bedroom. And then when he comes out of the shower, Maddie is sitting in bed with Jen, and then he'll be coming out naked, and Maddie will see him naked. And I'm like, what?
Okay, so Jen is sitting in her room or whatever room. Yeah, her room, because she said that Stephen took showers downstairs or whatever. So they're sitting in Jen's room. Jen's got Maddie sitting on the bed, knowing Stephen's in the shower and that he's going to walk out in a towel or whatever. And he's venting to this girlfriend that he is concerned. It makes him upset because when he steps out of the shower, Maddie's seeing him naked, which I honestly don't think upset him considering what was going on. But why is Jen having her daughter sitting in the room knowing that her man's in the shower and about to walk out? You heard the water turn off. He's stepping out of the shower. If he's going to come in the room to get clothes, why is your child still in there? Why are you okay with that? You heard the water shut off. Your man's getting out the shower. Why is your child still sitting on the bed? I have so many questions.
it was the same thing. Why are you coming out of the shower naked? Why don't you just, she's coming in the room, she sleeps with you guys, then get dressed in the shower. Oh no, it's too hot. But he will always, and that was a lot. On another occasion that.
So, a one-way street says not being rude, and I don't think you're rude, or judgmental. I wondered how many of the women had biases and worried about losing them, or vices and worried about losing them. Sounds like he took pleasure in knowing and the control of it. Yeah, I agree with that. So I don't know, like vices, what exactly you're like, if you're talking about the fact that like you don't want to upset your man because you're worried that you're going to lose him, like that happens a lot, but there is a point where you've got to put the safety of your child. Biases, I'm not sure. I'm probably reading that wrong. I need to look it up. I'm sorry. But there's a point where you've got to take the welfare of your child over the fact that your boyfriend or whatever might get mad or leave you. um when these things are happening and you see red flags out the ass, you've got to put your child first. Because when you have a child, it's you got to put them first always with everything. And putting your man and his feelings and the fact that you don't want to lose your man over the welfare of your child should never happen. And it happens a lot, unfortunately.
I forgot to tell the guys on the phone. He said that he sleeps in boxers, and then it was odd because he would wake up, and this is his words. I don't talk like this, but he'll wake up with a boner, and then he'll have to turn around because the night was like.
Okay, so she's just reiterating what I just said. You're cuddling in the bed with an 11-year-old child, and the normal thing that happens to men and young teenage boys or whatever happens naturally to the male gender every morning, and you're laying in a bed with an 11-year-old cuddling. Like, I don't, at what point was this ever okay with anybody? It's not. You shouldn't, even in my humble opinion, even the biological father shouldn't be cuddling with the child that's over, is if the child's over like 2 or 3. I mean, at that point is when you stop, like, holding the baby to go to sleep, number one. And number two, the child should be completely out of the bed, in my opinion, by the age of 5 or 6 at the latest.
With him, and that's when I was like, okay, this is not right. I did try to, because I say, if you're not with her in a relationship, you guys are not living, you're not boyfriend, girlfriend, why are you living with them? There's many people at Disney that are looking for roommates. You can rent a room. And then he said, no, I cannot afford it. And I don't want people living here with me. I live alone and I love it. So I wasn't going to invite him in. But at that point, I was like, there's no way to like work this around. I don't want to be involved with somebody that is doing these things, and I just broke it up with him.
So that tells me that she's pointing out these red flags to him, and he's coming up with excuse after excuse after excuse, manipulation tactics, and classic narcissistic personality disorder, although I think he was a sadomasochist as well. If we look at some of the affidavit that we've talked about and the pictures that he had of sadomasochism happening to small children, 5, 6 years old, it's just insane. I'm sorry, trigger warning, everybody, trigger warning. I always forget that. Let me go ahead and put that up. Sorry about noise in the background.
He was very controlling, and he will like try to manipulate. And for instance, at work, he wanted us to stay friends. I'm not a person that want to stay friends, so I told him that while we're at work, if we need to talk, we will talk. But other than that, I don't want to keep friends. And he tried to force me into keeping my friendship. He started harassing me at work. And that's when I threatened him, like, if you don't stop, I'm going to go out of HR or I'm going to call cops. And, but it's just the fact that I feel like if I had said something, but sometimes you wouldn't think, I just thought he was dumb. You know.
When were you guys in a relationship?
I don't remember when it started because it transitioned from being friends at work but we were done by end of April. By May 3rd is I found, because I have to take screenshots of messages. Back then is when I
Obviously, April of last year,
yeah,
2023.
23rd.
Okay.
That's when I told him that he was no longer to talk to me. You know.
Okay. And when you guys were in, whether friends or in a relationship, during the same time frame as when he's disclosing all these things?
When we were intimate, that's when he started, you know, disclosing these things as he was venting about his situation in the house. When I was aware that he moved out, then I was, you know, a little more okay. He's out of that, but I don't know. Nobody knows.
Did he ever actually disclose of?
No.
That
No.
was redacted.
The only thing is that
I think that he asked her, did he ever disclose that he was sleeping with Madeline or that he had photos of Madeline, something to do with that. And you can tell that by the contextual clues, by her next statement being this. The only thing is that they cuddled in bed. So, and they redacted it. So that tells us it was something to that effect.
they cuddle in bed, like because when he told me that she sleep with them in bed, my naive thinking was that it was Maddie, mom, and him. And I did talk to him. Okay, she sleeps, you know, and he's like, no, she needs to be like right, like next to me because she likes my body warm. Which I'm sorry, but to me that was disgusting, you know.
And I think to anybody it would be disgusting. She needs your body warmth beside her. Like, even if none of my children are autistic. We all have ADHD and neurodivergence, other neurodivergent issues in this household and around. Like, everybody here's got something going on. But even at autistic, if this autistic child is craving, like, you know, saying, I need body warmth, I want somebody close to me, why is it not the mom? Why are you the boyfriend, not even biologically related to this child? Why is it this person and not the mom? And we know that Jennifer took medication that knocked her out, that so to the extent that the roommate had trouble waking her up to tell her somebody broke in her car. So the whole, oh, well, she kicks and all of that and I can't sleep, bullshit. Hold on, let me do my thing for that one.
Get a bullshit, a bullshit, a bullshit, a bullshit.
Oh, and that's what I think about that.
Okay. Let me ask you this: why did you wait to say anything?
Oh, I've got one for the body warmth thing too. Let me play that one for the she needs my body warmth.
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? What's that, brother?
I gotta turn that one down. Sorry, bubbly y'all's eardrums. Thank you, Ariel. Welcome, everybody.
From last year to now,
Mm-hmm.
again, because I thought he was just being a dumb person that didn't know to distinguish, you know, because even my dad never came out of the shower naked, but I just thought it was dumb. I did get grossed out by all these comments to the point that I couldn't even see him at work. I you know, like I was very happy when he quit, you know.
Did you ever confront him about these?
I did.
Yes.
However,
What was his
while he
reaction to those?
While he was disclosing these things, I would be like, you know, I think that's not right. You shouldn't be doing that. I compared to my dad. He would twist it into, this is like an innocent thing. I didn't mean her. Then he would change it into like, I quickly cover, you know, and.
So typical manipulation tactics. He's making excuses, trying to justify this sick thing that's going on, which tells us that he's also doing the same thing to Jennifer, that he's justifying it to her if she didn't condone it. I think she did.
That's when I was like, okay, I just don't want to be involved with somebody so dumb. You know, like I feel bad because I couldn't say something, but sometimes I just thought if I say something and nothing is happening, plus I don't know their address, you know, like I'm gonna look like I'm just looking for trouble, and you know, and today looking back,
I can understand that. I can understand how, like, she saw it as disgusting and she thought it was wrong, but she was worried about, like, you got to think, if you say something like that, the police, CPS, and all that are going to go to the house, which, you know, should happen. Excuse me. But her concern is, what if I'm wrong? What if that it really is innocent and there's nothing going on, and then I get CPS involved in these people's lives and the police and all of these things, and she didn't know the address as well. So I could understand why she would hesitate on calling, but I would hope that I would hope that next time she would make the call, regardless of how it's going to look, and how, even if you're wrong, you know, you could explain, if you're wrong, you know, I'm so sorry, I apologize for doing that. If you are wrong, CPS is going to do their investigation. They're going to find that nothing is wrong in the house, and they're going to leave anyway. So at the end of the day, nobody's really going to get hurt. They might get stressed out about having to deal with the government in that type of way. But I think next time she would call and do something, but unfortunately there's going to be no next time for Maddie. Right. I'm calling in for a wellness check, right, Jenny? Right? Exactly.
back today, I got to work and I just couldn't work. So
Hey, the Esther from Faith. Hi.
awful because if I had said something, she would have been fine on me. But my reasoning was like, why is mom allowing, you know, this to happen? Because I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephews, and I would never allow anything like this to happen. You know?
You had mentioned that he was possibly like a roommate. So did they start off? How much do you know of their relationship, Jennifer and?
So when he started working at Disney, he would tell everybody that he had this girlfriend. They lived together. She had a kid. It was like his kid. He did tell me a few times that he was very frustrated because when Maddie would do something wrong, he would try to like scold her about it, and the mom would be like snapping at him. You're not her dad. Do not talk to her like that. But at some point they break up, and he's leaving there because he couldn't afford to move out.
Okay.
But at the same time,
now, I'm sorry, if you are living with your ex-girlfriend just because you can't afford to move out, I'm going to have a problem with that. Like, if you're talking to me, because it's going to be weird. Like, how am I going to go to your house and see you? How are we going to visit each other? You know, I'm going to feel uncomfortable stepping into your ex-girlfriend's house to go visit you at any time. Hello, Wilder Jackson. Nice to see you. Welcome into the Speculating Family. It says, your comment says, out of all these interviews, you can conclude that they were in bed together with Maddie in the middle, and this was normal. So how on earth could he have done that and taken pics with her not knowing? Well, I think, so we know that he was staying in room number 4, and on the night that everything happened, Jennifer talks about sending them upstairs to room number 4 together. So I think that you know, they were sleeping in the bed together alone, taking pictures. Now, I do think at one point that Jennifer knew, because when did it start, right? Like from what this girlfriend has said, they were sleeping together like it was an every night thing, because Stefan said that he had to go home. He couldn't spend the night because he had to go cuddle with Maddie or she wouldn't go to sleep. He didn't say anything about Jen being there, but at some point it had to have started when they were all 3 in the bed together. And you know, there's a possibility that Jennifer could have been so knocked out on her meds that she didn't know. I find it, you know, almost impossible. I really think that she knew and that it started with her in the bed, and then she was just kind of like, okay, I'll go upstairs and, take your photos to make this week's money, in my opinion. But, that again, that's my speculation. These are all my opinion.
Because I did talk to him in the house. Apparently, the house is owned by Jen's dad.
When I refer to making money, though, I am stating that I say that because I believe they were selling the photos and trading the photos. And we're actually going to hear more about that from Chris Stearns a little bit when we do the next interview.
Then there was a bedroom that they were looking for somebody to rent. So I told him, why don't you rent that bedroom and then leave there for now because it's going to be cheaper. And he said that Jen's bed is comfortable, and he wouldn't sleep anywhere. I even told him, like, when Maddie moves to her bed, then why don't you get up and move to Maddie's bed since she's there, then you don't have to be involving. Because I told him, like, you never know if she gets mad at you. In my naive thinking that he's a good guy, I don't know because we don't know, but in my naive thinking, if Jen gets mad at you for not wanting to be with her, she can go to the cops and say that you're doing things to her daughter. Like, that's what I told him. And he goes, well, she's not going to do that. And then I say, why don't you just move to Maddie's bed, sleep in her bedroom, and have them both sleep in the other bed. That way you are separated from all that. And he goes, no, Maddie's bed is very uncomfortable.
See, that's another thing. She's trying to give him, like, say, okay, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Because she's thinking it's innocent and it's normal. So she's trying to help him figure out a way to kind of break the habit of Madeline sleeping in the bed, or, get himself at least out of that situation. But he's making up excuses because, again, that's not what he wants. He don't want to get out of the bed with Maddie. He wants to get in the bed with Maddie, in my opinion.
So I'm like, okay, you have a kid sleeping in an uncomfortable bed. That's all my reasoning was, I just wanted to get away from this guy at that point, and I was thinking that Jen would have Maddie's best interest in not letting anything happen to this kid. I'm sorry, I just don't know what else to tell you.
Okay. Does he still work at Disney?
No, he quit.
No?
I don't know if it went because I didn't want to be involved. So, but he did quit. He did tell some people that, and this is as it was happening, that he had a job lined up in another state. But then, about not even before Maddie disappeared, somebody, because people at Disney gossip, somebody was saying, oh no, he's living in South Florida with his mom. And then that's when I was like, oh, okay, so I hope he knows that, he can come up.
The Astro from Space, I'll tell you something. So I have like a personal channel, and I do know what drama streams are what. I kind of made my channel because I wanted to put my voice out here and get away from all that. But to the Astro from Space, we've talked in other chats before under my other name, and I'm not going to say what that name is. I've also seen a one-way street in some of the ones I've been in, but I'm going to leave that at that.
Up here and help look for Maddie. I was this morning is when I was aware that he was the boyfriend. I just thought Jen had another boyfriend.
What did he do at Disney?
He worked attractions. He was an attraction operator.
Do you know if he was in relationships with anybody else from Disney?
There were rumors. Now everybody knows that I was involved with him, which nobody knew until. But there were rumors that so he was working with us in Figment, which is like the dancer, the drama night. But then he moved to Soaring, and there were rumors that he had sex with somebody from Soaring. That's about it. There was this one cast member that was very good friends with him for a while. So I don't know if you guys know. Maybe he said some other things to her.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about how your relationship was with him when you guys were officially dating. Was there anything that stood out?
I don't want to keep that highlighted for too long, but like, yeah, that's a good question. Who was, you would see signs of things happening in the laundry. There would be signs of in the laundry of things happening and things going on. And if you're doing laundry, like, I'm going to have some questions, and I don't understand why she didn't.
Oh,
Intimate because we were never boyfriend girlfriend, but when we were intimate,
when you say intimate, are you guys, we're all adults here,
we hung out.
you having sex or?
We did have sex
Okay.
a few times. This is odd. Okay, we're two guys here. Okay, so he was not all there. Like,
What do you mean by that?
he wouldn't get an erection.
Okay.
Like, it would be more like a soft direction.
Okay.
And so it was not like, we were like bunnies, but it was more like we hung out a lot.
So he's having a trouble getting excited when he is having relations with women, and I have to question, is that because he's having relations with older women and that's not what he's attracted to? Like, that's it speaks volumes to me, because Jen Soto also states that they didn't do things either. So the fact that you're having trouble getting that way when you're just, having relations with somebody, I think it's because he honestly wasn't attracted to women of the normal consenting adult age, which is sick. He should have sought help for that, not sought a child, in my opinion.
We talked a lot. It was more like giving each other company.
Yes, again, trigger warning. I do have it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Please take notice of the trigger warning.
That's about it. We play board games. So he would come often and we just play
the
board
Astro.
we would drink, have a few
This
shots.
this is Stefan's ex-girlfriend from Disney that he was seeing. And that was the last one I read. I'm going to play this and try to catch up on the comments. But yeah, this is a girl he was seeing that worked at Disney.
Did in any of these, whether he's drinking or normal, did any of his behaviors change? Did he ever become different, violent,
He was never
depressed, or anything that stood out?
He was never violent. He was a very depressed person. All the time he was depressed. There was always something troubling him. Like at work, he wanted to be trainer. Like if people didn't get along with him, it was like frustrating. Like
A one-way street and Peace Girl. So you said you wondered if Jen was possibly abused as a child. From what we've heard, Jennifer, the only thing I've heard about that is that Jennifer went on a date with somebody at a car dealership, and he took advantage of her that night. And she had some post-traumatic stress and issues dealing with that. But that's all I know about that. I don't think that she has stated any other type of abuse, because the police did ask her that. I'm not sure if it's in some earlier interviews. I've got to go through and get the original interview put out. That's the only reason I haven't made the playlist yet, because I need the interview where they take Stefan's phone and the interview where the police show him, Jennifer and Maddie in the car, and state she doesn't look like she's sleeping. She looks like, basically implying that she's deceased. I'll also work on trying to get those out today so that I can make the complete playlist in order.
was always frustrated. You will, hey, how's your day going? Oh, I'm just frustrated, And when we had an argument, he didn't become violent. Like, it's because of, I don't know, my way to be. I tend to intimidate people, even though I'm like the sweetest person, but like,
So this is another thing that I wanted to point out, that she states that Stephen Stearns is not a violent person and he doesn't get violent. So who got violent that night? Like Stephen Stearns seems, as I've heard people like an Eeyore type of person, like, you know, oh, woe is me, I'm so sad, I'm so frustrated, everything's bad, everything sucks. He doesn't seem like the type to get excited about anything, even angry. So I have to question then if the theory of Jennifer Soto walked in that morning and maybe really didn't know and caught them nude in the bed or something to that effect, and she snapped and choked Madeline. And now Stefan's taking the fall because he feels guilty about the pictures and things like that. Like, is that a possibility? But again, I don't know how Jennifer Soto went through life not knowing what was going on. I mean, I want to know who snapped and who choked Maddie, because I don't think Stefan has it in him to do that, honestly, in my opinion.
But like I give this demeanor that don't mess with me, and maybe that was it. But like,
You said he was never violent,
not
right?
with me.
Okay.
But he would argue and like he was like his way or no way. Like you would never win an argument. He was the know-it-all. I know it all, and you know, and he was always right. So I'm more like, okay, you're right. Okay, goodbye. You know, so he would just twist things. You know, when there was like I don't agree with you, he would just keep twisting it until he was right. You know, that's about it. But depression, yeah, he told me he was like he takes Adderall, that medication. So he said that if he didn't take Adderall, he wouldn't function. I was trying, in the time that we talked,
I
was
believe
trying
that.
for him to get off the Adderall, but he wouldn't.
When you guys were intimate, did he do anything specific? Did he video?
No,
Was
I don't
he-
allow that to happen. But one time, he had me late. This is very weird.
This is
He had me
interesting
late, face
and
down,
sick.
Okay.
like dead. Like it was like face down completely, you know, and he
Like completely flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
and then he went, and that's the only one time that he was really erect. If I'm telling you, that was it, and it was very weird to me. Like just, you know, at some point I was just so grossed out that I'm open to try things, but there are things that you're like, okay, are you trying to have sex with a corpse here, or you know, that was my. And I think that was the last
It's
time.
loud. I'm going to talk about that in just a second.
Because it was too much for me to, you know. It's really hard to see that person at work all the time. Yeah, and when I spoke with the coordinators, which is like an assistant manager,
That part was like, whoa to me, because I mean, if you want me to lay down completely flat and just stay there and not move and not do anything while you do your thing, that's going to be the end of the relationship to me, because obviously he wants to have sex with what seems like a corpse. Now, let's take into account, we know that he left in Jennifer's car from the motel room, and we know he had already dumped Maddie's body. Trigger warning again. We know that he had dumped Maddie's body because he got the flat tire on his car when he was dumping Maddie's body, and he was driving Jennifer's car because there was a donut on his car, and he left the hotel room and was gone for several hours. Okay, so I question if he made this fantasy of his a reality. And I don't want to get any more graphic than that. I really do think at that time, if I had to guess, taking into account what I know about, you know, things like this, I do think that he went back to the site where he put her. What he did there, I don't know. But after hearing that, I have questions about time spent there, if you know what I'm saying. That Santa person, I heard that when I was first listening to this case. I don't know if that's related. I think there was some kind of ring though, and we're gonna hear more about that in the Chris Stearns interview, Stefan's dad, in just a minute. The Santa thing, I don't know if they ever related it, but I can't wait until this trial to find out if it's related and if there really was a ring going on, because again, the amount is between 37,000 and 47,000 pictures and videos, not 3,700, 37 to 47,000. You're not taking that many pictures for personal use. Okay. And he had pictures of other kids, other small children that somebody else had taken. So, when you go on those sites, the thing is they're supposed to trade so that if one gets in trouble, everybody gets in trouble, or they know you're not a cop or whatever. So he definitely was trading, because you're not just going to go do a Google search for images like that and something pops up. That's not where you find that kind of stuff, in my opinion.
The few times that he would stare at me from afar and just stare, and his goal was to make me uncomfortable. I would call coordinator and I'll be like, hey, get me out of here, please, and they'll quickly get me out. So the amount of times that happened, it was maybe like 3 times, and luckily, like he decided. There was one time that once I found out he was going to work in my attraction, I just called out. That was the point where he made me uncomfortable. But violent, he was not violent.
Okay.
So again, they break up and he's just staring at her from across the pavilion at work, like, just to make her uncomfortable. Again, like the narcissism is astounding.
Do you know his first and last name?
His name is Stefan Stearns.
Okay. You know his birthday?
I'm really bad with numbers.
That's okay.
But I know he's 2 years younger than me.
But you know his first and last name?
Yeah.
And it's a gentleman that was arrested.
Yeah. And I know that his parents live either Sarasota or south of Sarasota.
Did you meet him at Disney, or did you meet him prior to?
No, at Disney.
Okay.
Yeah, he was training when I was already working in the attraction.
And how long after you met him did you guys start this?
That's the thing, so I was thinking about it today. I started working that attraction I trained in August, then I started working in October because I went on a month-long vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when he was training.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of new people then, so we all kind of clicked together.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say, by Christmas, we exchanged gifts,
Okay. So by Christmas and then by April, it's done.
By end of May. End of April.
So it was a quick, maybe 4 months then.
Yeah, because we didn't go into it quickly.
Okay.
No, it was
When you guys were at Disney, did he ever drive around like in the woods or anything like that? Was he an outdoors guy?
He is an outdoors guy.
Yes.
I am an outdoors person. I go hiking a lot. That's
So they're asking this because they still haven't found where he could have placed Maddie. They know she's dead, so they are pretty sure that he has placed her in the woods or something to that effect. So they're trying to figure out where he could have put her body. And so they're asking questions like this. I'm going to grab my coffee real quick, get me a refill on my coffee, and let this play. I'll be right back.
that's the reason why we started chit-chatting and hanging out more. We went hiking once to Moss Park. But I brought him. I was the one that brought him there.
Did he ever bring you to any places?
No, that's the only one time we went hiking. Because again, the relationship wasn't long.
Yeah.
So I took him to Moss Park.
When was that? When did you take him to Moss Park?
I think it was before December 2022 because it wasn't cold yet, and I remember that I had invited him hiking as a friend, like we were just coworkers, and he couldn't go. But we did hike the Splitter trail is right next to Moss Park.
Okay.
So we went into Moss Park, but we hiked the trail next.
Oh.
Do you know, other than his family down south, does he have any close friends or relatives
No, he doesn't
in the
have
Central
those-
Florida area? No?
He doesn't have close friends. The only people that he was friends with was the few cast members at Disney. That one cast member in particular that he hang out with, other than me, by himself.
What's
Caitlin Venterola.
Caitlin?
Yeah, they hung out a few times, like went to the bars.
You know how to spell her last name?
Yeah. I got my. I think I can find her on Facebook, so I don't misspell.
What was her vibe like?
Huh?
What was her vibe like? Did you get any?
She's a very laid back girl. She
Yeah.
has she's special. I don't know what she has going on, but she is very like she's angry all the time. She's a cast member that is angry. She's the only one cast member that I know who hung out with a lot.
Is this the one that he was rumored to have?
No, not that I know of, because I never asked for who it
Yeah.
was. I don't care, you know. But if he talked to someone a lot,
I want to know what that was about. The officer asked, "Is that the one he's rumored to have?" I want to know, rumored to have what? I want to know. I never caught the answer to that question. Rumor what? To have what? And yes, the Astro from space, we do need to shut down Telegram. The whole point of that is that it like deletes after a certain amount of time and is super encrypted. I do believe, from what I've been told, I don't know anything about it really, but yeah, that's not a good thing. It's all it is like a platform to sell narcotics and child images that are not appropriate.
Probably her.
yeah. But when we were friends, he was open. He didn't have friends. He was always he told me that he was very frustrated because when he was younger, he could have any sex with anybody he wanted, and then since he got older, it was harder for him, you know, like he felt like he was ugly. That's about it.
Did he ever tell you about what he's?
Okay, did he feel like he was ugly because young girls, teenage girls weren't looking at him? Like, that's a question I have. As sick as it sounds, like, did you feel like you were ugly because people your age were attracted to you? Because it sounds like you didn't have a problem talking to women, or women talking to you, especially if we take into account the Warhammer friend. Like, there was a cougar that walked up, he said, that was definitely hitting on him, and Stefan had no interest. Why did you feel like you were ugly? Is it because, you know, I wondered the answer to that question, because you had girlfriends, you had women that were interested in you. There's 2 at Disney that you're talking to. Like, one was hitting on you, you had no interest in it at the Warhammer thing. Like, why do you feel like you're ugly? I think it's because children weren't paying attention to him, and young teenagers, because they are not in, you know, obviously they're not going to pay you attention. You're a fucking grown ass man, and that's sick, in my opinion.
He's attracted to? No. Okay.
Well, his friend. That's what he said.
Okay.
You know.
No, I didn't know if he had said like older, younger, whatever. Okay. Do you think he's capable of doing anything?
I don't know him a lot. Anybody is capable of doing
Correct.
anything, but did I ever felt threatened by him? No, I did not. Does he play with words and, you know, like, yeah, you know, I once I figured that he was like a very, I don't know, it's not a dominant, it's like a manipulated person. Yeah, he is. That's about it.
Well, we appreciate you talking
Yeah.
to us
Yeah.
and calling the sheriff's office.
I'll leave a card if you can think of anything else or something. Just give us a call back, okay? Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to grab the interview with Chris Stearns now. This interview is going to be of Stephen Stearns' father, and it is from July, I think it says July 16th, but it's July 2024. So everything that happened in February and March, early March of 2024. So then you got March, April, May, June, July. So this is like 3 to 4 months later. Okay. And this is what Chris Stearns has to say. So he's taking into account everything he knows about the situation, everything he knows about what happened to Maddie and Jen and his son being in jail. Like the case, everything is blown up, and at this point it's calmed back down, and he's had time to reflect on things that happened around that time and throughout Stefan's life. He's had time to reflect on things that have happened in Stefan's life and say, hey, you know what? This is important, and this is important, and this is important. And so we're going to listen to what he says about that. Trixie, I appreciate you listening. Just be careful having kids around. Thank you.
Yeah, let's work.
This is a bombshell interview from Chris Stearns, which is Stephen Stearns' dad. This took place on July 16th. He asked so many questions and answers so many as well.
The date is July 16th, 2024. The time is 9:18 a.m. We're at the Kissimmee Police Department. Myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood. We're going to meet with Mr. Chris Stearns in the police department's lobby. Good morning.
Hi, guys.
Stearns, how are you?
How are you?
Good. How are you? We'll go.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sleeps all the time.
I've actually slimmed down.
Oh, the Astro.
Almost.
That is another one I want to look at. So, yeah, there was a former sheriff who unalived a judge recently because he found out that the judge had been doing inappropriate things with his child, his son. I want to look into that case. I haven't looked into it yet, so maybe we'll do that on a live. I'll pull what information I can. I doubt I'll be able to pull any, private information that's not already out here on that, simply because it involves a judge and a sheriff. Like, that's not information that I'm going to be privy to, more than likely. But I do want to go over that on a live. I haven't looked into it yet. I try not to look into things and go, even listening to the interviews, I try not to do it too much because I want you to get my genuine reaction to things. So I haven't looked into it yet. But yeah, that I heard a few things about it, and I want to look into that.
Almost like a 70 pounds.
You're down 70 pounds?
Yeah. Started in late January, too.
We'll just go upstairs.
Yeah, the new meds that they put me on and what have you. I keep trying to put weight on it. I can't seem to.
I guess somebody's in the training room. Which one? This one? Yeah. Yeah, let's work.
I'll bring you, sir.
Okay.
Have a seat.
Oh, boy. That drives up pain.
It's a long way.
Well, I looked at Google Maps last night and just, you can forecast ahead, and it said 2.5 to 3.5 hours. And I was trying to get over to the correction center at scheduled time, and I said, well, I'm just going to have to leave early. So I was up at 3:15, and well, the dogs get me up. It's either they have to go or I have to go.
Right.
And so when one of them starts woof, I go, okay.
Stephen Stearns' parents are like always so open about everything. I love it. I'm here for it.
But
So I know once you get to the Champions Gate
Sorry
area on
about that being
I-4,
loud.
it's a parking lot.
yeah, What are they supposed to have that fixed?
I thought it was already supposed to be fixed, but they spent all kinds of millions of dollars to do some overpass or some exchange, and it didn't.
Well, whatever they do is going to be a short fix anyway,
Mhm.
because they'll outgrow it. I mean, I remember as a kid moving to the Orlando area back in the '60s. You know, I-4 was already outdated anyway.
Right.
You know, it's always one step forward, two steps back, and they're always constantly chasing this stuff.
Absolutely.
Hey, I just wanted to touch base with you just to get up to speed on some things. You know, I'm surprised that Jen hasn't been arrested yet because, you know, we feel in our heart that, you know, she was there when the death occurred and was involved in the cover up. She obviously lied to.
So, I mean, I couldn't agree more here. Why hasn't Jim been charged yet? And we're not the only ones thinking this. This is Stephen Stern's dad. He's thinking the same thing. He knows Jen personally, and he's like, you know, why is she not being charged? What's going on here? And we know that she has limited, I think it's limited immunity, which means, from what I understand, she can go back and be charged later. But again, I'm hey, why hasn't she been charged? I'm here. And keep in mind that Mr. Stearns here, Chris Stearns, used to be a police officer, possibly a sheriff. I'm not sure, but I know at some point he did work for the police department. So again, he knows the law. And I'm with him on that. Why is she not being charged? I got questions.
To the sheriff's department and their statement as to, you know, the disappearance of Jen, when that was all a ruse. Or, I mean, Maddie was a ruse to begin with.
Mhm.
So I'm just curious as to why nothing. Where is she? Is she still in the country? Is she in some institution?
I don't know. I know the state attorney's office has been in contact with her. Once my
I think she did go to an institution at some point, but I don't think she was still there at this point. I don't know. I know, like, right after everything hit the news, she did supposedly go to an institution, but I don't think she was still there then.
my case packet is delivered to the state attorney's office, my involvement is pretty much done.
Yeah.
So as they're where she's at, no idea. You know,
Okay.
but I know the state attorney is still in contact with her.
Okay. Well, all right. It's just surprising that somebody that was there during the death and probably responsible for it certainly participated and hasn't been arrested.
And I agree. I forgot what I was just about to say. Even with like, why are you giving her limited immunity? I mean, I think you've got enough with the phone, the pictures, and the admissions and the camera footage of him, you know, moving her body from the front seat to the trunk, the flat tire. You've got 2 witnesses placing him at the scene of the crime. Like, why do you need Jennifer so bad that you're giving her immunity in this when it's obvious that she had so much to do with it? Jen, I was going to tell you, I have submitted a request to pull the text messages because I've heard rumors that they're out here. I haven't had time to actually go look. So if I get them back, and I've asked for a couple of other things too, I will be putting some more videos out of that. So we'll see. I should know in the next day or so.
One of the things that we have kind of speculated or come to the conclusion of is in talking to Stephen, and obviously he's not telling us much because he's under the instructions of his attorney to keep quiet about it, and obviously that's their defense. But he said something kind of odd that we've been, my wife and I have been kind of kicking back and forth, and he made a statement that said, "I didn't start it."
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of puzzled me as to, what do you mean I didn't start it? Getting to the chase, I think they were involved in some sort of criminal enterprise.
Now, this is Stefan's dad, and he told him, I didn't start it. Okay, so I mean, there's things he could be talking about, but I don't think he was talking about Maddie sleeping in the bed because, like, you know, I didn't start that. Well, yeah, she was sleeping in the bed with her mom before you arrived. I don't think that's what he's referring to. I think he's referring to, I'm not the first one that took pictures of her and started doing things to her. Trigger warning again. That's my opinion. And again, this is Stephen Stern's dad. He knows him better than anybody. And so he can tell in his, you know, your child, you know, by their voice, if they're lying, if they're telling you a story, you know, and Stephen told him this and he genuinely believes it enough to bring it up to the sheriff or the cop that he's talking to right now. And he stated, I'm not the one who started it or something to that effect. I have if he's talking about the pictures, who started it? When did this start? He started when the poor child was 7, 8 years old. Like, Lord have mercy, Jesus. What? I have questions.
I think those photos on his phone, and again, the day of his arrest and Jennifer's demeanor, as I've shared with you, is just really out of context of what you would expect from a mother who just learned that her significant other. I think that is still a possibility of that occurring, but I don't know if she took a photo of the photos that she was shown, the images off of Stephen's phone, or maybe she showed me something she had on her phone, but the flashing back to that image, and again, it was something I didn't want to see, so I didn't want to spend a lot of time gazing at it, looking at it, didn't want to see it to begin with, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. But the image that I recall seeing,
and that's redacted. This is what Jim was
so
talking about. So what kind of images did Jennifer Soto have in her phone? And if Stephen Stearns is not the one who started it, please read my banner. This is all my speculation, my opinion, trigger warning, all the things. If Stephen Stearns is not the one who started it, and Jennifer Soto had a photo in her phone, could Jennifer be the one that started it? And if so, why? Why are you, who are you involved with, number one, that's asking you to do that, take pictures of your daughter? Like, because that, I mean, you know, we know Jennifer Soto is not a normal person and not a normal parent, but you're not going to give birth to a child and say, oh, I had this child just so I can exploit this child on the internet and make pictures and make money. Like, that was the whole reason for me giving birth to this child. Like, that doesn't happen. So if Jennifer Soto could have been the person to start this and she has images in her phone and things, what happened to make her start doing it?
So you're saying Jen showed you this picture?
Yeah. And I thought it was maybe she grabbed it. She said that she was shown, they had a package, whoever it was showing the package.
Okay, Maxie May says that he admitted, thank you, Maxie. He admitted that he made that up about seeing a picture from Jen. Okay, so if that is true, then you know, hopefully that is true and that it was just a lie. And I would be very much appreciate to know that and appreciate that she wasn't doing that to her daughter. I hope that he did just make that up. I don't know why he would make that up unless he's wanting to get Jennifer arrested for something. But there had to be some kind of photo that somebody saw. Like, I'm thinking the police might have seen it too. I don't know. That's weird. But thank you, Maxie, for that. Maxie says, yeah, it was in the interview. Okay, so yeah, I assume you're talking about with Hidden True Crime. I did play a portion of it where he talks about the USB drive and taking the hard drive out. I didn't want to play the whole interview and I haven't had time to listen to it because, you know, that's her hard work. I don't want to be trying to, you know, play. If I play something that somebody else put out, I only try to play a portion of it so that you'll go to their channel and subscribe and give them the view and all of that. I appreciate the information, Maxie, and thank you for being here.
The package.
That was me.
Okay. She said, well, I don't want to see all, but supposedly, again, her telling me this, that she looked at.
Very possible, Trixie.
Am I imagining that?
I can tell you this, that Jennifer, unless she had, which I'll get that in a second, the pictures that were shown to Jennifer during the interview to identify Stefan, she wasn't able to take any photos of those pictures. Does that make sense?
All right.
Okay. So, and have you read my narrative yet for
No.
this?
No.
Okay, that's going to answer a lot of your questions. So I don't know if Stefan can get you.
Well, how would I
or
get
his
that?
I don't know if his attorney can give it to you, or if Stefan, I'm sure he already has it through Discovery and stuff like that.
Well, didn't the state attorney release the investigative reports?
Everything should have been released.
Yeah,
because
they
I
did that
know
last week
here.
because the news stations immediately put up their stories about it on their.
I know public records requests have been done here as well for the case.
Yeah.
So it's out there. That's going to answer a lot of your questions. But as for a picture being on Jennifer's phone, we downloaded her phone just like we did Stefan's, and there is 0 images like that on her phone. So where you got this image, I don't know where that
Maybe I'm just envisioning.
Okay, so if I had listened to that, I don't know what to do about, because I want you guys to get my genuine reaction when I listen to an interview, and you get that from me listening to it for the first time, unless like I have to do what I did with the transcript in the other interview we were just watching. But if I had listened to it, then I would know, like Maxie said, that the police didn't see the photo. So therefore, then it's very possible that he just made that up if nobody else saw this alleged photo. I'm going to have to figure out how to work around that. Because again, I want you guys to get my genuine reaction to the interviews and the live. So I try to just kind of go through and see if there's a long redaction and cut it out. Maybe me and Jen can talk about it through email, and maybe we can figure out something. Thank you again, Maxie. And thank you everybody for being here. Everybody watching. If you're watching the replay, thank you again. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it more than you can know.
I don't know, but I think they were involved in some sort of criminal enterprise because there was money being spent. Packages were arriving at our house on a frequent basis, and when I brought Stefan home from Kissimmee at the end of November, to my knowledge, he had no money because I provided a lot of financial support for him and told him, hey, time has run out. I can't do this anymore. Whatever you're doing at Disney is going to take way too many years to go through promotions and pay raises to where you can afford to support yourself. I mean, you need to be making 2.5 times what you're making, and you'll never get there. You need to find a career path, which is what I was trying to find for him. I was encouraged by his work ethics that he was demonstrating at Disney, which what precipitated me bringing him back. But since learned as early as the day he was arrested, because Jennifer said that he had called in quite a bit at Disney, which was kind of like his MO. And it really disappointed me to hear that. And when he came home, he fell into the same bullshit pattern that we have been struggling with for many years. Trying to get him out of bed and, go out there and find a job and what have you. And then all this fell apart. But there was money, there were packages arriving on a constant basis. When I asked him about, where the money was coming from, he said savings. Well, I can tell you that other than the inheritance he got from his father, which he blew through rather quickly, there was never been any savings. He never saved 2 nickels. So some money had to be coming somewhere.
Did he just state his money he got from his father? I'm going to rewind that because I might have misheard that. But yeah, I question too, where was he getting all this money to buy all his little toys and things? If we listen again, referencing the interview with the Warhammer person, he talks about how expensive it was that he had to get out of it. And Stefan Stearns always had the newest stuff. I mean, even the day that this happened, he was going to the card shops because there was a drop of new cards and game things, and he always had the newest things. So in my opinion, it's possible that he was selling and trading pictures, and that would explain why there were so many of her. and how he had pictures on his USB drive or whatever of other children. And that's just my thoughts on that, because he's getting money from somewhere, and a nice amount of it.
I can tell you that other than the inheritance he got from his father, which he blew through rather quickly,
So he did say the money he got from his father, which he blew through very quickly. So I mean, from what I understand, this man's last name is Stearns. So I would think that that's, you know, his biological father. Maybe he's referencing his father, which would have been Stefan's grandfather. Jenny Jen said maybe he's speaking in third person. That's weird, though.
there was never been any savings. He never saved 2 nickels. So some money had to be coming somewhere. But his comment about I didn't start it got us wondering that maybe he was caught up in a criminal enterprise with Jen, and Jennifer was. And I don't know if you can collaborate that or not, but I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, I mean, without getting too much into my investigation in the narrative, it did not appear to be that way, that they were working together.
Okay.
Because I will tell you this,
Hey, I don't know if you hear that in the background, but that sounds like the interview that was being done with the roommate that speaks Spanish. If you hear it in the background, it sounds like her voice. I just picked up on that.
We have spent months, thousands of hours, literally going line by line through his phone and her phone. And there is nothing to suggest that theory, that they were working together.
Could they be working independent?
Well, Stefan was working independent.
He was.
I can tell you that, yes.
Okay. So he was involved in a criminal enterprise.
Well, I don't want to say criminal enterprise, but the stuff that was found on his phone pretty much painted the picture of the whole case.
Okay.
So again, why do you need Jen? Why do you need Jen so bad that you're giving her limited immunity? Why I mean, you know, you just stated that what was on Stefan's phone painted the whole picture of the case for you. Why are you giving Jen limited immunity? What is the purpose? You already have your case sealed, signed, and delivered. Like, why are you doing this for her?
There was, the thumb drive that you provided.
Okay, so there was stuff on that.
There, I can tell you there was a.
That's redacted. While that was redacted, a one-way street states father is trying to find someone to share blame, and in my opinion, and I agree. I think that you can tell by the way they babied Stefan. He was still allowed to live there. They walked on eggshells while he was sleeping. He was stealing from them. You know if your kids are taking things from you, I mean, for the most part, like, it might take you a little while to figure it out if they're stealing from you, but they babied him so much. And I think I can agree with that 100%. They're trying to find someone else to take the blame with Stefan. Oh, it couldn't have been Stefan by himself. You know, it had to be him and Jennifer running a criminal enterprise. Stefan didn't come up with this by himself. Not my son, not my child that I raised. He didn't do this by himself. You know, that's my thought process on that. That's a great point at a one-way street. Yeah, Anders. And good morning, Anders. I know you were here yesterday and I didn't see you. Stefan is toast without Jen's testimony. Exactly. So why are we giving her limited immunity? I don't understand.
So identifying those individuals, it'd be almost nearly impossible.
30,000?
Yes, sir.
What about the hard drive?
The hard drive was not used when the forensics unit got it. I don't think it was used since like 2020 or something like that.
Well, why did he go to the extent of hiding the damn thing? Because like I said, he was on that computer Sunday morning, and then I assumed when I handed it over, that.
So the desktop that you handed us,
Yeah.
there was not a hard drive in it.
Right, and then that surprised me. And then when I went to move out of the storage unit, it was at a location at the back. And if you've seen photos, there was a rack of shelves. And
Yeah, I was there that night when we did this.
okay, so you could easily slide back to the rear of that, and from where it was, you could easily tuck in where I found the hard drive. You could easily just place it.
Right.
So I don't know if he.
But yeah,
did-
there was no activity on the hard drive for years.
Huh.
So we don't know where the hard drive on the computer that he was using when you said you saw him using the computer, where that hard drive is.
Oh, this isn't the same hard drive? Oh,
Because if he was using it that morning,
yeah,
we would have been able to tell through the forensics number.
right.
And no, it hasn't been used since, like I want to say like 2020 maybe.
Okay, so it was an assumption on my part that was the same hard drive. But I don't know how he put that hard drive in it, and I don't know how he put that in there.
So if we think that Stephen is doing these things, I'm assuming he knows something about computers and encryption and things like that. Although he was pretty careless and reckless in a lot of the things he did, like having all the pictures on his phone. I want to know where this hard drive was. I wonder if they ever recovered it. We know that he took it out. I think that they talk about him going to Northport. I think that that's when he got the hard drive and he placed it somewhere. But I don't think that he would have placed it somewhere it could be found. Like, I don't think he would have put it in the storage unit. I think he would have destroyed it and like thrown it into the ocean or the bottom of a river or something in pieces. I would hope that they could still somehow pull that information though and see what's on that hard drive, because he went way out of his way to destroy that hard drive. And he knew he was being watched and he still did it. And at the same time, he was being watched and he still got away with taking it and putting it and destroying it somewhere, and they don't know where.
So he must have just destroyed the thing.
Right.
It would have made
Which we don't.
best sense to do that for sure, but too bad he wasn't smart enough about the phone. Not that I would be encouraging that,
Right.
but still. The other interesting thing is, as you know, I came up early Wednesday morning, 2:00, checked into the hotel, tucked Steph and Jen into their room and left 2:20, 2:30. I went to bed, and then with the recent release of the investigative report, found out that this white Nissan had visited the site of where the body was dumped, which I assume was later is identified as Jennifer's car, which meant that based on the timing of what the information revealed, and I'm assuming from the hotel to the townhouse was at least 30 minutes, but I didn't think they had access into that townhome. They just go to the parking lot, or were they able to access the townhome? Because I thought they.
So Anders says also that he did so many stupid things. His mother said that he had an IQ bordering genius. Again, I think that's a great point to bring up in our question with all the quote medicated fog that he was in and all the medications he was on, if he was too out of it to think straight. Because if he hadn't have been on all that medication with his IQ the way it was, I think that we would have a lot of questions and there would still be a lot of unanswered questions in this case, because he was supposedly so smart. I think the medicated fog put him in basically a stupor to where he did a lot of stupid things. And I wanted to say, Shaker Sister, hello, good morning, welcome. Nice to see you here.
They were asked to vacate, which is why we were in the hotel room.
So maybe I misunderstood. You're saying the Nissan.
They said that the report said that they left Kissimmee at 3:18 and went down to St. Cloud and spent 30 minutes and then returned.
Yes. They did.
Okay,
So
I'm assuming they departed from the townhouse?
no.
Oh, okay.
They left from the hotel.
Oh, okay. 3:18. Okay, so 45 minutes later after checking in. Got it. Does it any footage show that they both went or just one?
Just him.
Just him. I asked him about that, and which was would have been on the recorded phone call, why he did that, and he said that he was speculating killing himself.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting, and so then he came back to the hotel, or he.
I don't know
Or
if he
you
went
went
back to
straight
the
to the
hotel
resort.
there or if he went. No, he had to go back to the hotel because we have the car leaving the hotel going to Northport, and then the car down at Northport as well.
What time did he leave the hotel to go to Northport?
I don't remember exactly.
And I wonder, and because Jennifer called me as I shared with you, I thought around 9:45, asked me if I knew where Stefan was.
That's when he was on his way back.
Yeah. And I don't know if that was just, she was playing me with that, knowing that he left and went down there. But again, can't figure out why he went down to Northport, because by the time he would have arrived, would have put him at past 6 o'clock. And
Well, we know exactly what time he was. Once again, I don't remember what time it was, but we can put him within less than a mile from your house through dash cam video from Northport PD that was working a crash showed him in the car at that point. So we know.
So they know that he came to the house to get something, and I'm thinking it was the hard drive. It's about to get loud, so I'm going to mute, but I think that's what it was. I think he got rid of that hard drive.
Exactly what time he was there, but what time he came back, I don't remember what time it was.
okay. Did you ever confirm that he went to the storage unit?
The records from the storage unit were kind of
Yeah.
wishy-washy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it looked like somebody used your access code, but when we talked.
Hello, Michelle. Welcome. Thank you for your comment. And Maxie, yeah, she's agreeing with you, and that's right, Maxie. Shaker's sister, yeah, all mothers do think their children are special, which is, I don't want to put anybody down for that. Everybody is special in their own way. That I see what you're saying. He might not have been a genius level, and she just thought that because he showed some smarts in some certain areas. I agree. And if we take into account that what Maxie said, that she didn't have him tested and that like he had all these things, but he was never tested. CAT scans aren't showing all these issues that he's having. And the fact that how these parents are, they're taking care of him, they baby him, it all would add up to, yeah, they would think things and baby him and just like thinking that they were running a criminal enterprise because, of course, their son didn't do this all by himself, not their child. You know what I mean?
Talked to him again. They said the dates and times they may have been mistaken. So whether he was there or not, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Weird. Because like I said, and as Debbie shared, she said the dogs went on full alert around 5 something, but anything could have spooked him, but definitely he wasn't in Northport at that time. So it's just curious as to why. I don't know if he tried to come to the house and maybe the dogs didn't go on full alert because he again talked about getting access to his guns. And then he could have accessed a couple of other guns he had at the house.
But he had one gun with him. So any reason why he would want his other guns?
He was in possession of the gun when he was in the white Nissan. Because my understanding is the police had confiscated the
they
weapon.
took the silver Lincoln, which had the 27th, I believe, when KPD officers went out to talk to Jen and Stefan about the disappearance of Maddie. They checked the cars, and inside Stefan's car was a gun.
Right.
So then at some point he takes that gun, puts it inside the house. And when they did the search warrant on the house, that's when they recovered that gun.
Okay.
So whether he went down there to get another gun.
Because he said, I went to get the guns
The fact that he had so many guns is concerning.
because I was considering killing myself.
Or-
And so now that makes sense. He would have come down to Northport to try to get into the house to get the guns. And maybe he came up to the house and found out he couldn't get into the house. The dogs didn't go on full alert. And so that makes sense. So that's probably what he was doing. Again, kind of confirming his comment about wanting to get the guns. So he only had the one at the townhouse, which didn't make sense. But now coming down to Northport to do that would make sense. Long way to go for nothing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything for me?
No,
No?
not really. I mean, now it's obviously going to be a process,
Yeah.
a lengthy one probably.
Yeah.
But
Well, he keeps saying that there's some glimmer of hope, and I'm sitting there going, what glimmer of hope could there be? I mean, you got these horrendous charges of these images and what have you, and then you've got the murder charges. Like, I don't know what bullet he thinks he's going to dodge. We want to keep him as positive as possible, but
you have your parents, so it's natural.
Yeah.
Regardless of what he didn't do, or whatever, you still got to treat him as your son.
Yeah.
And
30,000 images. That's amazing. Did you have to see and view all 30,000?
Yes.
How long does it take to do that?
A long time. A long time.
That's not the question I would have had in that instance, but okay. Good morning, Miss Bambi Lee. Yeah, that does sound like the roommate in there. Yeah, I agree. I think it is. I had to go back and listen to that interview and see if we can hear them talking in the background of that interview. That would be interesting to know. Good morning and welcome, Miss Bambi. Yeah, and like Jenny said, but everybody remember he was a genius. That's why he did a master reset on his phone the day that Maddie went missing, right? Okay. Like I said on that, the minute my child's missing and my significant other does a master reset on the phone, I'm gonna be like, okay, let's go get something to eat, and take his ass right to the police station and be like, there's something going on with this motherfucker right here. I don't know what, but you need to figure it out before I do. Because if I figure it out, you're gonna have to tase my ass because somebody's gonna die.
Talk about not unseeing something.
Yeah, it's
I envy your job, and then I don't envy your
right.
job. I know it's fascinating work, but at the same time, you're left with a lifetime of that shit.
Yeah, you see it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I appreciate your help.
Yes, sir.
In the
Not a
time.
problem at all.
All right, to give me some answer some questions. Again, we're just trying to get some closure to this and figure out how far back did those images go.
2000.
There were images.
Yes.
Any reason to believe that Jennifer was aware or not aware?
So this is July, okay, and we already know, like, the information has been released that it went back to 2019, I do believe, when Maddie was 7 or 8. And that was released in the press like right after this happened. So why are they redacting the year that the images go back to? That tells me that they don't want us to know the original year and that it goes back further than that, in my opinion, because it doesn't make sense that they're redacting something in July when the date that we got in like March, maybe, no, it was probably March, beginning of March, was 2019. So why 3-4 months later are you redacting the year when it was already released? Unless you're trying to hide the original year.
Not aware of this going on?
We don't believe she was aware.
Anything prior to that with anybody else?
From Stefan or
Yeah, Stefan, yeah.
not that we know of.
We're clueless how this could have started and why. We asked him, Debbie did, is there any history of, certainly not from us, but from by somebody else? And he said no. So we're clueless as to how this all got started.
That's a big question. A lot of people that do these sorts of things, we never know.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, guys, you've been helpful. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
Again, we're just trying to get.
Thanks for
closure.
stopping by.
Well, thank you for entertaining.
And anytime, just give me a call. You have my number. Feel free to call anytime.
Thank you. Good seeing you again.
Absolutely.
All right. Ooh. These canines, I'm just looking at short term of duty.
That's going to get loud. I turned that up at the end just to see what they were talking about. And they're talking about like a sheriff in the area or something. It's not anything real important. We'll listen to it, but it's going to be loud. Jenny Jim makes a great point here. Maybe they aren't disclosing the year in the case in case they want to prosecute Jen later on. That way she doesn't have that defense ready. Great point, Jen. Awesome point. This is going to be loud, but we can listen to it. It's only a minute or so.
I mean, 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, were they killed with duty? Line of duty? 3 years and 2 years.
He was, yes, shot in the line of duty. This was an accident.
Oh. How many hours you got to do on the force now?
Right now, I think we only have one because they just retired another one.
Shepherd or Malinois?
At Malinois.
Oh, okay. Is that the standard dog these days?
Yeah. Yeah, they're lighter and more agile.
Yeah. All right, guys, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
All right, thank you.
Good Lord, that was loud. Okay, so this is the last interview that I have because, again, this is July, just a couple months ago. I think I've done all the other interviews. I did want to see, I've deleted some pictures because I didn't have enough room on my computer for them, but I do want to, we can look at pictures real quick. Hold on, let me pull that up. I don't know if I've got the one where the gun is in the pew is in the drawer, but we shall look real quick. I did want to show this. I can show this real quick. In the comment section on the video of Stephen Stearns, we were trying to figure out if it's a crest on his back or what the tattoo was. And I pulled these images and, oh, hold on, let me. And we can tell by the comparison right here, this is the Stearns family crest. I think it's English, Irish, and something else, probably Scottish. And it does appear to be the family crest on his shoulder there. I need to put that in a short. While you're looking at that, let me see what I've got. I don't know if I've got a picture of that, the pew in the drawer still. I had it at one point. I'm going to try to pull these pictures back up so you guys can see it. Let's see, just in case you didn't know. Sharing it now. This is Maddie's supposed room. Like, you know, just a little divider in the corner of the living room because, you know, the child in the house could not have her own room. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. That's just weird to me that her room, that's her room. That's just ridiculous. So I will show you the room that they were in. We'll look at those pictures real quick, but I'm going to have to pull up all the pictures. I have the picture where they took the phone and were like, going crazy. Okay. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. So this is the room. This is Stephen's room, the upstairs room where this horrible things were happening. That's the bed where the horrible things happened. That's what it looks like if you're looking into the room from the door. I'll get these pictures together and try to get them put out on a video for you guys. The pew pew is in this drawer. There is a picture where this drawer is open and the pew pew is there. And he also, in the book bag we just saw in the other picture, he had lotion called Solo Lotion. I've talked about that in a previous live. You can figure out on your own what that was about. But my question was, why is it in the book bag? So you can see the number on the door here, number 4. The Solo Lotion was in this book bag. Why are you having that on your person when you're out and about? Was my question with that. So yeah, that was all the interviews I had to go over today that we haven't already talked about in any previous lives. I want to thank everybody for being here. There's quite a few people here today. Wow, like I'm really blown away by that. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your comments and all your views. If you're watching this on a replay, thank you so very much. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Again, I'm blown away by that. Like I stated before, I never thought one person would want to hear what I say, much less that many. My goodness, you've all just made me feel very, very welcome. And I hope I can keep you guys informed with information. I try to pull information all the time. I always have lots of requests out. So who knows what I'll get answers back to and what we can look into. I am going to look into the judge and the sheriff. Amber's Eek, Trixie. Oh, hi, Christina. Miss Bambi. The Astro from Space, A One-Way Street. If I miss you, Anders. I'm trying to scroll up and see. Shake Your Sister, Michelle, everybody. Thank you so much for your comments, thoughts, and opinions. I love to hear them. Christina, thank you for subbing. Thank you for joining the Speculating family. I appreciate it. And thank you guys again so much. I hope you all have the best day that you've ever had in your whole entire life. And I will see you guys again tomorrow. Probably try to make my lives around 10 o'clock because it seems to be a better time period. So with that, I'm going to go get some more information together for you guys and get put out here so you can check it out. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Happy October, y'all. Thank you again and have a blessed day.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should